Welcome to beautiful Cozumel. What exactly is it like to be there right now? Alright, so now I'm in Playa del Carmen on the way to the ferry. So I wore my mask on the Colectivo, but more like this, as I showed you guys. Colectivos, this is what they look like. So for the Colectivos, you actually do have to wear your mask. Usually just wear it like that, but yeah, it's like public transport in Mexico. Today, we are going to get from Tulum to Playa del Carmen. And first impressions of Playa del Carmen are these. So the area they drop you off is very, very industrial. Not too pretty, obviously. So I haven't been to the proper town of the centro de Playa del Carmen. Maybe I'll get there on this trip, I'm not really sure. I'm running a little bit out of time because of the hurricane that happened and it delaying like 2 days of the trip. But it does seem, overall the impressions, it's way busier than Tulum. It's getting actually really, really hot right now, which is nice, you know, after a few days of rain. I almost like fell into a hole, so I gotta see where I'm walking. It does appear that more people are masked up, by the way. So Tulum, way less masks than Playa del Carmen. But I do see a few people without their masks on, so that's good. However, I'll probably just put it around my neck just for the time being until the ferry. And yeah, it just seems busier, like a larger city, which a lot of people have told me about that. People have also told me that you get really ripped off here. I met this one guy who was also from New York who paid like 800 pesos, which is I think 40 bucks or whatever, alright, sorry guys. He paid 800 pesos, which I believe is like around 40 bucks for a hookah. I think that's the math. Sorry, I gotta do the math later on, but he paid 800 pesos for a hookah and then altogether like 100 bucks for like 2 drinks and a hookah or something. It was pretty ridiculous and didn't really want me to go to Playa, so I decided I'm just gonna stay in Tulum a little bit more. Now in Tulum, the beach area is very expensive, but the pueblo, so the city center, is actually pretty affordable, especially if you are eating local and not at all those, you know, super fancy restaurants or whatever. So I just have to say that because people say Tulum is the most expensive out of all of them. It's not true. If you go to the beach, it's a very different vibe than from the town. However, the beach itself is more than 4 kilometers, so 4 to 8 kilometers from the town. So don't have the wrong impression here. That is like right next to the beach like Playa del Carmen. Not at all. But I actually, just seeing this right now, think I prefer Tulum over Playa del Carmen. Gotta make sure I'm not run over here. Just to give you like a little bit of an idea, you know, of my first impressions arriving in Playa. Alright, so I'm on my way to the ferry and I'll talk to you then. Just judging from like a second impression, I do think food might be a little bit cheaper in Playa than even in the town of Tulum. I just saw like tacos for 15 pesos, so I don't think you would necessarily get it for that cheap in Tulum. Maybe on the street market, but yeah, it does seem like it's a little bit cheaper here. But I don't know, I mean Tulum's prettier. So that's that, right? Like you give and you take. Seems like a lot in Playa del Carmen is under construction, and I've actually heard similar in Cancun. So for me, it'll be interesting just to check out Cancun on the last night that I'm here. I'm not really sure what's going on with the construction, what they're building exactly, but I did not see as much in Tulum. Alright, so I ended up in this Cancun type of spring break thing called Senor Frogs. I got some chips and salsa. I don't know, it'll be interesting. The ferry actually doesn't go until 5 p.m. and I have 2 hours to kill in between. So I guess the ferries are not running regularly due to the situation right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So they said the ferry ride's only going to be 30 minutes, so I should be in Cozumel before sunset for sure. Alright, so we're currently on the way to the ferry. The line is a bit crazy like that, but it's probably not as long as it usually would be during normal times. I actually met some really nice Irish people at the bar I was in. So that was Senor Frogs. And we ended up chatting and just exchanging our impressions of the entire lockdown. I guess Ireland is completely locked down. I mean, insanity. Yeah, this is so end of October, beginning of November while I'm saying this, so they're completely locked down, same with France and all of that. And we were talking, you know, how does it feel right now? You know, does it feel normal? And supposedly this is like one of the only places where it feels normal again, or like kind of normal. Because everyone's having fun, you know, people drink, people like are on vacation, and just those kind of things. So it made me really sad how other countries have most likely like the same feeling that New York has, and it's just kind of unfortunate, right? So I'm gonna enter the ferry to Cozumel, and I also just found out that directly from Cozumel I can go to Cancun, to other islands, which is amazing. So we are going to do that. I actually don't have to return to Playa del Carmen, which is a huge plus. I don't really want to come back here, to be honest. It's just not really my town. But yeah. Landing in Cozumel, and during this time the sun was still out and bright. This is the promenade from the ferry to El Centro. Alright, so we are in Cozumel, finally made it, and it's actually quite busy. It's way busier than I thought it would be, so you have like quite a bit of traffic over here. There's a lot of snorkeling and diving tours going on. Unfortunately, it looks like it's almost sunset, so I'm not sure how much I can get done today, but let's see what tomorrow will hold. It's pretty empty here at night, I really hate to say, so actually I'm a bit shocked. I did see like vlogs on YouTube and everything who were saying, okay, yeah, Cozumel's like pretty much dead because of the cruise ships not being around and everything, but after walking around for a few hours on this pretty small island, and like just keep in mind, you know, I'm just like in this town center where people usually land because of, you know, the ferries there, the cruise ships are there. I'm a bit shocked and sad. I'm like, wow, there is not much going on here. They did lose power because of the hurricane too, so I was, you know, in a restaurant, or like walking around in a restaurant, and then it lost power. But it's really sad to see right now that, you know, the island, like this island in specific, is pretty dead, and it makes me really sad. Alright, so we're currently here in the square of town, and I already walked around this yesterday, so it's still relatively empty. However, it's also extremely hot right now, so that could also be a reason. I walked past a few breakfast places already, so things are open, and there are tourists here for sure. Like, I already met a lot of, you know, English speakers. I don't know if they're American or Canadian. Sometimes it's hard to tell because Canadians are also allowed here. Well, everyone's allowed here obviously, but Canada's also relatively closed. So I already met a bunch of Canadians, and then I thought they were US Americans, but obviously I guess that's a bad thing to assume, right? When you're Canadian, you're not US American. So yeah, it's gorgeous here right now. I'm really happy that I'm getting a great day, and I heard it might rain later on this week, so I'm just really happy that I get to be here on a really sunny day. For those of you who are asking, yeah, I do see some people with masks. I also see some people without masks, but it seems like most people are wearing masks. So if you're worried about that, definitely wear your mask for sure. And I'll show you a little bit more of Cozumel. Actually, another fact I forgot to mention, and I know some other people also mention it in their videos, is that currently right now with the current situation, so you have like that ferry in the background, you are switching between two ferry companies. So one day it's one and the other day it's the other. Meaning, if you buy a return ticket, it could very well be that on the day after you come back, like if you're staying here for a night or something, on the day after you come back, your return ticket won't be valid because it's a different ferry company. So I myself just bought like one way, and then on the way back I'm buying another one way. I know return is cheaper, but just something to consider right now during these very special times. So I just came back. I just booked a tour for 700 pesos, so it was like 35 US dollars. And when you get off the ferry, they usually want you to book one for like 45, or sometimes you can haggle them down to 40 perhaps. But I actually had a friend I met on a tour, and he said just go to the right of the ferry and then you can just get a tour for cheaper, and it's literally like the exact same tour. So supposedly they give you ceviche fruits and beer and water and soda. They give you quite a bit on that, but it's like 4 hours long. You get to see 4 different spots, which makes it nice. And I'm really excited for it. It's actually one of the main reasons I came to Cozumel, just to go for the snorkeling and diving, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. And other than that, it seems to be a little bit busier now during the day, so it can be that people are coming here during the day from like ferries from Playa del Carmen, or like through Playa del Carmen from Cancun or whatever. So it does seem to be, you know, a little bit busier than it was at nighttime, and I'm just thinking it's going to pick up towards November, December for sure. Alright, hi guys, so we're currently waiting for the snorkeling, and as you can tell, it's raining! Yay! Guess it is coming in rainy season though, so I'm really excited for getting some water time in. And also I wanted to mention that it's really hard to have a good hair day here in the Yucatan Peninsula. Yeah, it's super humid, especially at this time of year. It might be different during December through March. Alright, so we're about to go snorkeling, and I can't wait. Despite the rain, snorkeling still turned out to be a lot of fun, and altogether we saw a good 4 locations. While 2 of them were in the rain, it actually did not matter much because most of the time we were beneath the water surface anyhow, and we got to see some fish and some other coral reefs, but unfortunately the manta rays were not out during the time that I was there. Supposedly there is a season for everything. I also heard I had just missed turtle season, which I was a little bit sad to have missed, but it still turned out to be a beautiful experience. Afterwards, we went to El Cielo and El Cielito. And as you can tell, the water looks extremely gorgeous in both locations. And in one, the watercolor was so unreal. I had actually barely seen anything like that. El Cielito was a very nice beach where we hung out for a little bit, took some photos and shot some videos, and just all together had a very great time. Hola! So my time in Cozumel is going to an end right now, and I have to say I spent like 2 nights here, so 1.5 full days. It was nice. I would definitely recommend the snorkeling and going to El Cielo if you have the chance to do so. I'm sure there are many other things to do. I know people who stay for longer, like a week or just like 3 or 4 days. However, for me, I just want to discover a new island, so I'm going to go to Isla Mujeres and see how that's going to pan out on my last 2 days in Mexico. And overall, I have to say Cozumel is a little bit busier than on the first night when I was here. But I do think the lack of cruise ship definitely shows, so it's possibly not as busy as it usually would be. I wouldn't really be able to tell because I've actually never been here before, just by listening to other people what they're saying. Other than that, I'm in front of a really nice graffiti here, all blended in. There's stuff to do. It's definitely not just an island or just like super tiny, super small. So there's definitely stuff that can keep you occupied. They have restaurants, they have nightlife, and things are open as far as I know until midnight at least, even with the current curfew, so that's great. A lot of people are wearing masks, so more people are wearing masks here than in Tulum and Playa del Carmen, but I've also seen plenty who don't necessarily wear it, so I believe it's not being reinforced all the time, except for when you really want to go in stores. I've seen more stores kind of insist on it, but other than that, I think it's okay for those people who care. And for those people who don't really care about whether or not they're wearing masks, you should be good anyways. So that's my impressions of Cozumel. Beautiful, beautiful island. Definitely check it out. Give this island tourism, because another thing that obviously, you know, I've noticed all throughout Mexico is this country needs tourism. This area, the Quintana Roo, Yucatan Peninsula, like they need tourism. And just because of the lack of cruise ships and just in general people being really freaked out right now with the pandemic, there's just not a lot of tourism. And for Mexican people, you don't really have a safety net or a safety blanket like you have in other countries, like in Germany and Europe and the US. You know, people do not get unemployment from their government. They do not get these extra payments or whatever. So it's just really important for me to point that out again, because, you know, just even by being here and being in the restaurants, taking a tour and all of that, I do think I help the tourism a little bit. Have a safe one and stay tuned for more videos. From Cozumel, unfortunately, I actually had to return back to Playa del Carmen because there was not a direct ferry to Isla Mujeres. However, I got to see a little bit more of Playa del Carmen, and I will show you more in my next vlog where I make my way over to Isla Mujeres through Cancun even. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more vlogs.